Okay, so I want to talk about an issue that I know a lot of people are thinking about, and that's why is Microsoft so weird? So, recently with Microsoft, we had some really disappointing events. Well, mainly in that they've almost but abandoned their brand name. They became highly third party, mostly with Android, Windows, ARM, RT, whatever you call, whatever Windows, whatever you want to call Windows that runs on like PowerPC technology, like for Androids or hybrids. That's thing of the past. Microsoft now they use Android on their Surface. Now, people say that the Surface phone is a junk. I mean, oh no, $1,000 plus, not even a back-facing camera. But you gotta understand, uh, PC culture has always been custom to have a little piece of tape that does this. People have irrational fears that someone can hack into their camera, and even though this is not reality, because you essentially, as long as you're using a dedicated software and you're not using browser, browser-based scripts for video chat, whatever piece of software you have will show up in permissions, and you'll know if anything's spying on you because it has to be in permissions. And the only way that can be bypassed if you're running some obscure Linux, some custom ROM of Android. But basically, the the gist of Microsoft products is that you can fold the camera by folding the screen, and that's why Microsoft did that, is because they have a very exclusive market of I don't know wealthy wealthy people who are very concerned about privacy, mostly older, you know, I'm gonna take a guess, older, higher up female clients. Okay, that could be wrong about that, but Microsoft is pretty quiet nowadays. They don't boast. They don't. They're basically, like Windows. All Windows products are basically now third party. They're mostly an Xbox company, and as Xbox whatever matures, I forget what it's called. This new Xbox, but it's basically based off of virtual machines. It's like a hybrid of like standardized, high level DX programming with, you know, high level replacements, or what do you call it? Hybrid source code like JVM and Xcode, you know, but it's basically a hybrid between, standard high level programming and that type of, just hybrid scripts or high level replacements, and that's how Xbox is marketed, because versus a PC, games can boot up instantly because they have their own VM, emulated ZRAM on, you know, an IBM based, operating system, and that's definitely a cutting edge. Even if Microsoft is falling behind as far as enterprise, business enterprise and developer enterprise when compared to Google and Android, they still have the cutting edge when it comes to RISC architecture and computer gaming, because obviously on a PC it's much more clunkier. You need so much more. You know, you spend about 90% or at least 70% on your graphics card alone. But on Xbox, Xbox is more like it's more like Android, because it can make up for not having the world's greatest GPU by having this RISC architecture that can use this excess of cores and extra fast RAM to basically give you a hardware acceleration, just the same way that YouTube basically gives you a hardware acceleration, like, because even if you have, say, the world's worst broadband and you're stuck watching your videos at some rubbish quality, they still always look better. Your YouTube videos always look better, in my opinion, than any other type of native format that's supposedly, low quality, and it's because of that hardware acceleration you have built into your kernel. And that's universal on any operating system. And speaking of which, we're going to be taking a look at a very obscure item, and it's this thing. This is some, I don't know what I would call this, but this something to do with Firefox. And it is not a smartphone, but it has some big claims about what it does, and we'll talk more about that. And overall, it's not, it didn't hit the mark on what it's trying to do, but I'll let you decide in my next video whether or not the MyFlip original has a purpose to basically exist. Now, you may not like it if you're not into tech videos, because I'm going to be talking about concepts like Java, C+, and and what do you call it, other obscure programming, that I theorize this device would use, because I know it doesn't use Xcode or JVM type programming, because I've tried, and I know that it's not compatible. It's not compatible with Java, C+, as far as what people consider J2ME emulation, which is based off Nokia or Motorola. But I think it could be a obscure, 3.0 kernel of this, because with Brew, they used to call it J2ME kernels Brew, and they're basically C+ replacement that upgraded the algorithms from a proprietary 8-bit to a proprietary 16-bit. But I'm pretty sure that this could probably pull 32 or 64 bit, even though it's not it's not ARM or PC based, and definitely not Unix based. So, but we'll talk about it in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Cheers, have a great day.